Air raid sirens ringing out in the northern Israeli city of Haifa just moments ago. Hezbollah rockets firing back after Israeli airstrikes pounded Lebanon overnight. The Middle East is on edge following the Iranian missile attack earlier this week, and Israel is weighing reprisal, including attacking Iranian nuclear sites, as President Joe Biden asked earlier this week if the U.S. would support such a strike.
The answer is no. I think there's things we'll be discussing with the Israelis what they're going to do, but all 7 of us agree that they have a right to respond.
Former President Trump firing back on Biden's cautious approach.
What do you think about Iran? Would you hit Iran? And he goes, as long as they don't hit the nuclear stuff. That's the thing you want to hit, right?
Well, NewsNation national correspondent Robert Sherman is live on the ground for us in Haifa, Israel. Robert, what's the latest in northern Israel where you are?
Hey there, Anna. Well, we have learned from Israeli sources that the head of U.S. Central Command, General Michael Cilla, is on the ground in Israel tonight. Now, in terms of why he is here, that is still unclear at this hour. But for context, it was General Cilla who had those direct conversations with the Israelis in the wake of that salvo of missiles that was fired by Iran earlier this week. And there are questions right now as to exactly what role or if the United States will be playing a role in the Israeli response to that Iranian attack, or exactly what it could look like. And I can tell you, Anna, that it is a very tense environment here along Israel's border with Lebanon, as throughout the day and into the evening here, there have been alerts going off across northern Israel. We saw people fleeing the sirens, heading to shelters and into garages in order to try and find safety throughout the day here. It has become a constant state of affairs along the northern border. But Israeli forces continue to operate in Lebanon, both through airstrikes and on the ground, which is what we have seen throughout the day, and we anticipate that will continue. The Israelis a short while ago putting out videos of tunnels that they had found in southern Lebanon as well, which they believe posed a significant threat to a lot of these northern Israeli communities for fear that a broader attack could have been coming at some juncture. So that's why the Israelis say they're going to continue those operations there as long as these threats remain present. Anna?
Yeah. And as you say, evacuations underway there in southern Lebanon, 28 communities evacuated that we have so far. Robert, we're still waiting for Israel's response to that attack by Iran. What else can you tell us?
Well, we know that it's coming. Even just moments ago, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu spoke and said that it was Israel's obligation to respond. We've heard those sentiments echoed by President Biden and other Western allies of Israel, saying that Israel should issue some kind of response or consequence to Iran's attack this week. There is a disagreement, however, among some of Israel's allies to exactly what that response should look like. This was President Biden. Take a listen.
The Israelis have not concluded what they're going to do in terms of a strike. That's under discussion. I think if I were in their shoes, I'd be thinking about other alternatives than striking oil fields.
The IDF saying tonight that there will be a response and will happen at a time of their choosing. Anna?
Gosh, you just wonder how long they can keep up this pace with a 3-front war there. Gaza Strip, Hezbollah there in Lebanon, and the Yemen Houthis, too. My goodness. All right, NewsNation national correspondent Robert Sherman live on the ground for us in Haifa. Please stay safe out there. Thank you.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.